Hey y'all, welcome to Marvel Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view, as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time, and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. So today is going to be a kind of like a revival reading, which is our collective reading. I'm going to pull some cards and I'm going to see what comes through. It feels like some of you are at a crossroad, and some of you may be finding it hard to make the journey, or at least the last part of the journey, from an aspect of yourself that you're actually ready to let go of to a new aspect of yourself. Just because, it seems unfamiliar. Sometimes you can go on about how, like, oh, you want to be this type of person and you want to, open yourself up to this version of yourself and so forth and so forth. But when it starts to actually show up, sorry, I'm just getting like these clips in my head and I don't know where I saw this, but it was talking about how, where did I see this? It was okay, but anyway, it's like I'm seeing like someone kind of like, I wouldn't say scold you, but they are kind of scolding you. They're like telling you about how if you want a certain place within this empire that is you, basically, you have to earn it. It's not something where Zanne will just come and say, oh, uhamba nomoya wamakhosi, and you have royal spiritual bloodline, and then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, okay, I have royal spiritual, like give me whatever it is. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. That, like, me saying something like that to you and you receiving it in a way in which it resonates to you because it's activated something within you, that's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, and it's going to be just the beginning for like quite a while, in terms of like so much of what goes on and happens until maybe you meet this particular guide again. Everything that happens in that space is just the beginning. But basically they're saying, I remember where I saw it from. It was Shara Ilembe. It was Shara Ilembe. Guys, I thought that was so cool. Like, also, okay, I didn't actually watch this in the episode. I just saw it in a clip. Basically, Ushaga is talking to Usanzanga Kwana, right? And it's giving Wakanda, like when T'Challa goes into the spiritual realm. So basically, like, and then talks to his father, it's giving that. So Shaga is basically in like the spiritual realm thing, Nankusanzanga Kwana, and basically, Shaga be hurt. Like, like we all know Shaga was hurt. And, this moment for me, I think was so necessary for all of us, because every story that has ever been narrated to us about Ushaga no Senzanga Kona, and when I say every story, I literally mean just the original Shaka Zulu story. Like, the idea we have is basically about how, like, yo, Senzanga Kona and Shaga, it just didn't work out between them. It just didn't. And forever, Ushaga had this feeling of resentment towards his father and whatnot. And I feel like in that moment, in that conversation between Ushaga and Senzanga Kona, I feel they offered us a healing moment. Like, it, guys, it came 360. Like, and it's the way Senzanga Kona explains everything. So if you haven't yet realized, this is a spoiler alert, please fast forward 40 seconds if you're still going to watch this, right? But for the rest of y'all, it's how they obviously, these people do not get along, okay? But it's the part where, like, so Usenzanga Khona says to Shaga, okay, so njengoba uze la, uzele ukuzongidelela nje wena. And then Ushaga is like, I mean, ngizele ujama. Like, because I want wisdom, ngifuna inhlakanipho, like, blah, 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 blah. Not my homie, Sanzanga saying, like, you mean ujama? Like, and then like calling, like, oh my God, like, you mean umakeba? You mean like calling basically all his forefathers. And like, when you look deeper into that, it's like, that Shaka understands that like you are all these people. These people have always been you. It's always been you. And basically that's now going on because Shaka is a continuation of who they are. And Sazanakona also explains about how everything that I put you through, that's what the bloodline was putting you through. That's what the ancestry was putting you through in order for you to become who you need to become. And I know that's kind of controversial because some of you are going through like some traumatic things like within your families and stuff like that. And it's not enough for people to just say, oh, you need to be going through what you're going through right now and so forth. But some of you have come out of certain traumatic experiences with families and you're able to process that kind of information better because you're no longer within it. So you're able to process better and look back and understand all the things that you learned about yourself, about people in general, about your relation to the people around you. But the reason why I brought that up is that Usanza Ngakona actually says to Shaka, like, how you have to earn it. You think just because Uneka is Lamakosi, like, we're just going to give it to you. Like, no, boo. You have to earn it. And yeah. And when you earn it, it makes it real. It's not easy to carry something that like was just given to you like that. Like that kind of power just being given to you. You'll never feel worthy of it. You'll always feel the imposter syndrome if you didn't earn it. And what do I mean by earn it? There's certain initiations that all of our bloodlines have put in place for all of us. It's not the same for all of us. And it doesn't have to be this whole idea of you have to suffer. It doesn't have to be like that. There's a specific way that all our bloodlines have set out that we earn whatever power is connected to us. So this King of Wands just came out for the second time. So this has definitely got something to do with those of you Ebanomoya Makosi. And with the Seven of Wands, you know what I'm talking about with the earning of it. Again, I feel like I'm talking more to the people that have kind of just exited this world where at the beginning of their journey, they kind of felt like, why would anyone turn against them? Why would anyone treat you badly or whatever? You have so much love, you have so much compassion, you have so much understanding for everyone. And that feeling of knowing that there's something inside you and so forth, and therefore kind of feeling as if like because of that everyone is going to treat you well and so forth, and kind of going through like that whole Jacob moments of having people that you trust kind of throw you in a hole and just like literally want to erase this energy within you that seems to be infinite and so forth, and going through a phase where like you're first in denial and you're like, no, this is not happening. I just have to be more of a version of myself that they like. So how do I do that? I just have to dim myself, which is kind of symbolic of the whole Jacob thing being in a whole. Is his name Jacob? Is his name not Jacob? Shit, what's his name? I feel like his name is not Jacob. I'm talking about the 12 brothers that the tribes got named after. I'm talking a Bible story. And the one that got thrown into the hole. I feel like Jacob is, I don't know why that's not, I don't know. Jacob feels like someone else. But anyway, you get my point. I'm talking about that guy. And that whole thing about him being in the hole seems to be symbolic of you kind of trying to figure out, as in like, how do I belong? How do I make myself lovable? How do I make myself wanted to these people that I love the most? Transitioning into this realization that the hard realization that that's maybe not going to happen. That no matter what you do, that's just, that's not what's happening. Because you've now minimized yourself into the smallest version of yourself and it's still not working. They're still conspiring against you. This is family, friends, lovers, those of you who are in relationships with people that actually hate you. And moving on into a stage where maybe you're kind of angry. Then it goes into like this rage type of thing where you feel like, you know what? Okay, cool. Fuck it. I'm gonna I'm just gonna become what I am. I'm just gonna become what I am and fuck it. And when I'm the greatest of all time, they're gonna wish that they never did that shit to me. They're gonna love me then. So that's kind of like the thought pattern, like at that point. So you kind of half ignore them, even though you're still half trying to impress them. And like every time something, monumental happens in your life, you're like, see, do you see me? Do you see me? And like, nah, I still hate you. Because it's not about you. They hate themselves. They're just like projecting that onto you. It's not about you. Until you get to this other space, like this whole process, by the way, is the so-called earning process. Like this is at least one form of it. And you just put so much energy into yourself, into loving yourself, also just as a traumatic response, because you just like anybody else, you need love and you need to be seen. And in a space where everybody refused to do this, you kind of decided you could do it for yourself. You may not have decided like consciously, but yeah, you just put more effort into yourself until you kind of dug yourself out of the hole. Or for some of you, your guides came to get you when they realized you were ready to focus more of your energy on yourself, call your power back, and so forth. And so you built yourself up, and they just kept throwing hate at you and all that. And then now you started to defend yourself. You stopped absorbing that hate. You stopped absorbing that hate in order to also protect people from the fact that they are pieces of shit. So you would absorb that, and they never got to sit in that energy where they realize that like they may possibly be people that are horrible or that are self-loathing or that are of a lack mentality, and that's why they have negative energies towards other people that like are building up their lives or something like that. And ultimately, when you got to a certain point, it was just not even about them anymore. You kind of forgot that like putting yourself together was actually a whole revenge thing. Like you got to the point of self-love where it really was starting to reflect like self-love, where it was really about yourself. You realize that you're actually obsessed with yourself. You're the most interesting person that you know, which would totally make sense because you're part of this like extraordinary lineage of people just like you, of people that carry this ability to transcend the human experience and tap into other parts of themselves. It's kind of like the ability to fly. So, yeah. And now you're kind of like experiencing this new frequency and new dimension, so to speak. And those people are still there. They're still giving you that look. They don't have the courage to talk much anymore because, Oxalayo, like facts are facts and you're doing it. You're doing your life. You're doing your life. I mean, you don't have to be like, oh, like a millionaire and like, oh, you're going to Dubai, whatever. Like, you're living your life. You're living your life and you're having fun with it. And you express feelings of joy and you seem secure and safe in a world that they don't even understand. Like, how could anyone feel safe and secure in this world? But you do. And it's because of the self-love, it's because of the connection with your guys, it's because of the connection to this lineage um that has gifted you as power because it is your birthright, because you are the present manifestation of the power in your lineage. And you're just learning how to navigate that, learning how to navigate this new found access to infinity, this newfound access to the all. And you're kind of feeling like vulnerable. And it's because you're kind of not used to feeling safe and therefore being calm. You've spent so much time in the warrior phase of your life. You've spent so much time in I want to say the red phase in your life, survival and all that, and defending yourself and dying and rebirthing and dying and rebirthing and dying and rebirthing. And now it's kind of calm. The waters are still. And it's making you feel like soft and vulnerable and open, exposed. And your guys are trying to tell you you're safe. This is exactly where they want you. You feeling how you're feeling because you're safe. When you're safe, you bloom, you open up because the circumstances allow, the energetic landscape allows, the frequency allows. You're not there where you used to be anymore. The Sekhmet part of your timeline has dissolved into the Hathor part of your timeline. Or the Sekhmet Hathor part of your timeline has dissolved into like the Ra part of your timeline. Yeah, basically, I don't know, it's the Nile has risen. I don't know why I'm making these like Egyptian metaphors, but like maybe some of you are connected to like ancient Egypt somehow. But yeah, it's giving the Nile has risen, and I think it's called what's the inundation? I'm gonna look it up even though I've already said it. Um but yeah, and the forecast is abundance. I don't know what to tell you. And the forecast is awareness. And the forecast is stability. And the forecast is home. So, yeah. All right, y'all. That's what I have for you guys. If the reading resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to book a personal reading or a mentorship session, all the information is in the description box. And I'll see you all later.